Hello to both of you, and thank you so much for being on the show. Samson, let me start with you. This is just such a bizarre, it's such a bizarre encounter. You seemed genuinely afraid. Were you afraid because Diddy has a reputation, and there are stories about Diddy, and people fear Diddy's power and influence? Or were you afraid just because you didn't know who the guys were?
I would have to say a little bit of both. And I think you said it best up top that they felt like goons. They felt like they were out of like the Goonies or some 80s film. They had the New York accents and everything. And it was honestly, it was terrifying. And that's why I started filming right away, is because something in my gut told me this is not normal and you need to film this interaction in case it got dangerous.
Probably wise, certainly good to have it and have the evidence of it. Amala, it was a little different for you because they reached you over the phone, but nonetheless, you say you had all these same kinds of questions. What did they want, and what ultimately did you talk to them about?
Yeah, so I got a text on Monday morning from somebody that I used to live with who happens to be my best friend. And she said, there are two men at my door right now. They believed it was my residence, but it was just a place I used to live. So she thought that they were there asking about advertisements and sponsorships for my show because they were very vague in their questioning. So she unfortunately opened the door to these two guys. We ended up being on the phone over speaker talking to one another. And I had the very same reaction that Sam had. I thought something is not right here. They were being very vague in what they were asking me. They were sprinkling in mentions of P. Diddy throughout their questioning. And I actually texted my friend, get away from these guys. Unfortunately, she didn't see the message. The conversation continued. And eventually they let out that they are private investigators trying to figure out if I'm being paid to talk about Diddy and his connection to other celebrities.
And what did you tell them? Anything?
I told them, absolutely not. I don't get paid to say anything that I say on my channel. And they gave the same offer that they gave Sam and said, had you been paid, we'd love to pay you more to disclose exactly who that was. And they even went on to say that they would pay more than whatever it was I was being paid from the initial entity to share the opposite story. Now, I don't know if they were talking about this in reference to P. Diddy or if another celebrity, maybe in his network, hired them. It was very, very strange.
And Sam, you were nodding as though this was the same offer that you got, meaning if you're being paid, we'd like to pay you to tell us who's paying you, and we'll pay you more to influence, on our behalf instead of whoever might be paying you. Is that right? Is that why you were nodding?
Yeah, that's exactly right. And that was what was the whole exchange is so shocking. And people have said, oh, Sam, it looks staged. And that's why I made sure to get the police report, because it is so unbelievable. I mean, and like I said, I was genuinely terrified. You hear, I say, can you please back up? And he's like, well, it's a public street, so the answer is no, which is a very hostile thing to say. And, I went all Karen on him. I'm like, you better back up off me, and it was just, I don't know, I don't know why this happened to me. And I think to Amala, that's the biggest question to us both. And what's terrifying is why us? Why did Diddy single me out? Is it my No Diddy song that is, he hates? Did I, I've been doing videos about him and DJ Khaled's kind of relationship. So I just don't know if I maybe rattled his cage, no pun intended.
Well, it's a good question.
It's a mystery.
It's a good question. Amala, do you know what videos you might have posted that drew, their attention to you?
There were several, and we've been really thinking about this and theorizing why these two individuals showed up at my former residence. And I thought maybe it was us linking P. Diddy and his relationships to another celebrity, and maybe another celebrity on the PR front is trying to get ahead of this and see if somebody is funding these narratives. We also thought, since P. Diddy is really focused on how he's going to come off to jurors in his trial, and he's really asking himself the question, can I get a fair trial? Maybe they're going out and investigating influencers, trying to see if somebody's trying to corrupt the narrative or give him extra negative press, and then maybe they can run the story that it's not possible for him to get a fair trial. I mean, fortunately, none of us are being paid. We're covering this because it's actually insane, and what he's done, allegedly, is insane.
Well, and the truth of the matter is that there are private investigators and investigators in all kinds of cases. It's actually not strange, but everything connected to Diddy does have a different sheen, and it is a little worrisome for some people, especially people who lived in Diddy's world, maybe suing him and said that they always felt as though he pressured them or worse. So I can understand why it's nerve-wracking. Thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your screen. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.